Okay, guys, let's start that again. Okay, yeah, let's start that again. So, as I said, this is now for those of you who are watching live. Thank you for joining live. For those of you who are joining by YouTube, welcome to our YouTube channel, and welcome to part 5 of Nuts and Bolts. Okay, my name is Johan, and if you have not watched part 1 to 4, they are available in our playlist, which are here. And so if you go to the playlist, then you'll be able to see part 1 to part 4. We're going to do part 5, and then we're going to do part 6. Part 6 is the last part. And so I'll be, if you watch all the other parts, then it will make more sense to you. So without further ado, let's just quickly go through the next topic for today, which is system and business tools. Now, I want to refresh your memory in terms of what are the topics that we have covered. We've covered start the business, dream, setting goals, writing name list, meeting and invite, business presentation, follow through, grow your business. And today we're going to be doing system and business tools, network balance, how to communicate, and attitude and self-image. We're going to be doing these things today. And so these are the lists that we've gone through. These are really the nuts and bolts of running the RubyCell RubyCell business. So if you wanted to run a RubyCell business, these are the core things that you need to be aware of. These are the things that you need to do and become a master of in order for you to be able to successfully run your RubyCell business. All right? So that's a RubyCell business. So what is a system? You know, we've talked about system and system tools, and I just wanted to quickly differentiate between the two. System is developed by experienced and successful individuals. It's an education system which teaches the art of success. Basically, whatever that we have developed up to now, okay, whatever that we've developed until now is basically developed by, it's a proven system. It's a proven system where people are guided towards the right direction. It's guiding people to make the right decision, and it helps people to be able to understand what they should and should not be doing to make sure that they become successful as fast and as effectively as possible. So, and system tools are basically books and other supplementary materials to support the business. So things like, you know, the reading materials that we ask people to read. Sometimes we have external trainers to come in and train us. Those are system tools, okay, which you can also use, which will help our system to be developed further. So you can't really run away from the system. Now, it may seem a bit rigid that we are only sticking to one system, but later you will understand that this is actually a good thing. Because if you don't have a system, then there is no structure to the organization, and it will become very messy as far as the business is concerned. So it's very important for us to have a system so that we will be able to organize everyone. And from that organized framework, you are able to become creative in your own way to perform the RubyCell business. Whether that is doing home parties, doing events at hotels, doing Facebook Live, YouTube videos, or Instagram. So that's where you can become creative. But in terms of the fundamentals of doing the RubyCell business, like setting goals, having a dream, following up and follow through, writing name lists, all these kinds of things are the same, whether you do the business online or offline, okay? And so that is, well, you know, what's most important, yeah. Now, what exactly is a system? System is something that anyone can duplicate. If you look at my PowerPoint presentation slides so far for nuts and bolts, it's significantly much more simple. It's easier to understand, and it's very straightforward. Even the training that I conduct for nuts and bolts is very direct and straightforward. I don't put in any complicating language. It should be easy for people to understand, and it should be easy for you to duplicate and apply into your life, okay, into your business. And so anyone should be able to duplicate. When everyone follows the same system, we're all going in that one direction. And we have one system so that we have a stronger focus as a group. As a group, we are one voice, one mind, one direction in where we go, okay? And so this all equals network growth. This all equals network growth, and this all equals your business growing bigger and bigger, okay? If your network does not have one system, then you will not be able to grow as fast because everyone is doing their own thing. So it's very important for everyone to have their the one framework, a same framework we all use, so we all talk the same language. The way we use that framework is where you can become creative, okay? Now, we also have business support tools. These tools, right, are also tools that we all need to use the same thing. And these are really tools that you can use to leverage from to accelerate your business. Things like our YouTube channel has a lot of corporate videos. It has a lot of our past event videos for us to be able to, leverage on so that we can show other people that we've done all these things before. So business support tools and systems, these all should be used together, and they should all be the same throughout the whole group so that you will be able to have more speed and effectiveness in achieving your business goals, okay? So make sure you understand that system and business tools, these are there where everyone uses the same one, and they should all, and the purpose of it is for everyone to be on the same path, on the same direction. Got it? Okay, good. So now, as far as, there are some warnings that we need to give people as far as system is concerned. Because when it comes to systems, right, I cannot emphasize enough these 4 points, okay? These are the 4 things that you absolutely should look out for to make sure that you are not making these mistakes. And the first one is you shouldn't change the system and deliver it to other people. The system should be exactly the same. The content of the system should be exactly the same. The examples, the way you tell other people, the method, whether it's on Facebook or YouTube or Zoom or face-to-face, is up to you. But the content, the actual content of the system cannot change, okay? And our role really is to deliver the system in a manner that other people will be able to understand and duplicate. That way, your network will be able to grow, okay? The second thing is, do not make your own business tools or amend the original. Master the original. If you amend the original, your network growth will be slower. And the reason why even today I saw this. Too many people become too smart and they develop their own system and they don't end up being successful in their whole business. It's very simple. You have a big group, they are all using this particular system. And then you have this small group, your small group, which is doing another system. And maybe you are happy, but your partners are gonna be like, how come everyone is doing this and only we are doing this? And they will question whether we are really in line with the bigger picture or not. The bigger group became big for a reason. There was a system that worked. There's no reason for us to change the system because the system should determine whether the business grows or not. So if the group is big, that means the system was working. And so you should make sure that you don't change the original system. Master the original, and from there, you will be able to master the delivery of it, but don't change the original system or the business tools, okay? So the third thing is, you should always guide and motivate your partners so that they plug into the system. What I mean by that is this. Now we are doing nuts and bolts training. We have Super Monday every Monday with our FB Live, with our things like that. There is really, when a new person comes in, it's not ideal for you to develop something entirely new just for that one person. Your growth is going to be very slow if you run your business like that. The reason why it's like that is because, the reason why it's like that is because when you run your business in a way where you do different things for everybody, people they will always need to call you. And if they always need to call you, it doesn't become passive income anymore. You need to work very hard. You'll make the money, but you'll be working very hard. And that's not the objective for doing the Ruby Cell business. The objective for doing the Ruby Cell business is to be free, right? And so make sure that you guide and motivate your partners to plug into the system, into the training, into the same Zoom, into the same SB, whatever it is, so that you are able to duplicate your people and ultimately you are able to grow the network as much as possible. Okay? So that is guiding and motivating your partners. Now, the first thing is do not quarantine your group and run your own system. I know this sounds, I mean, it's funny to me. Making your own group is directly going against your team growth. There were some people, I mean, a lot of things happen in business, and basically, there may be some people who quarantine their group because they don't want other people to know what their group is doing and things like that. I mean, you're just slowing down your team growth because there's so much going on in the bigger group that you should be leveraging from the bigger group rather than trying to quarantine your groups. Okay, so make sure that you follow the system. That's the point. A good leader is a good follower, okay? So if I don't know the system, then I cannot teach the system. If I do my own thing, your partners are also gonna do their own thing. If you show your partners that you're doing the system, your partners are also gonna do what you do. They're gonna follow exactly what you do. And a good leader is a good follower because a good leader knows that whatever they do, other people will follow exactly what they do. So if you want your partners to follow you, you should follow your leader. That's basically it, lead by example. That's basically what it is, okay? Now, when you grow your business, right, we should be growing our business online and offline. And this is what I'm talking about when it comes to the different ways of running our system, In Korea, there is a new word called ontact. We have contact, right? Ontact is basically online contact. That's the word that's famous in Korea these days. We have our YouTube channels here, which have all the resources, and we've got FB Live. And these are really, you can do your online trainings, you can do your online materials, but you should also have your offline work. And let me tell you, I have never seen a person become successful by just doing online, okay? They need to do their offline work. Offline work means building name lists, following up, replying to FB comments, things like that, okay? And so it's very important for you to understand that you need to have a balance between online and offline activity for you to be able to truly accelerate the growth of your business, okay? So make sure that you balance the two. And if you want to find out more about what is the difference between online and offline, we will do a training on that. But basically, you have online things that you do and offline things, and you should make sure you balance out the two, okay? These are some examples of all our online content these days. I'm in some of these photos, and my deepest desire is that a lot of your photos also go into these photos. Okay, so we talked about system and business tools. Now we want to talk about network balance. Okay, what is it to balance your network? This is very simple and easy. When you talk about network balance, you want to balance both width and depth. Width in our compensation plan, you need at least 3 legs moving, okay? And depth means you want to have a deep lines so that your income becomes stable, okay? When you have width, that is when you make the big money. And when you have depth, that is when you make stable money. So if you want to make big money that's stable, you need to have width and depth, okay? And this concept is so important in making decisions on where to place people. Once you have 3 lines, you don't need to have a 4th or a 5th one. You should park people down so that you develop depth in your group. You need to keep on developing depth so that you will be able to constantly have a more stable income, okay? So make sure that you develop depth and make sure that you develop width, okay, in your network, okay? Now, how do you achieve a rank goal faster and build a strong network? Okay, you do this by having a big and clear dream for yourself, which you believe in, and focus on imagining a successful Ruby Cell business for yourself and work consistently. Now, why do we talk about this? Because when it comes to developing width and depth of your network, you need to make sure that the width and the depth it's not always easy, you know. If it was so easy, everyone will be able to do it, right? And so the important thing for you to understand is that you need to be very clear about why you need to do this. What is the bigger dream and the clear dream that you have, which forces you to have the width and the depth in your group. Some of you have small groups, some of you have medium groups, some of you have big groups. Even someone like me who is considered to have a big group, I still need to make sure that I have depth and width. You know, I'm always doing that. From the time I started RubyCell until now, I'm just doing that all the time, okay? And the reason why I can keep on keeping on going is because my dreams are big and they are clear, and I believe in those dreams. In fact, I can safely say that I've achieved some of those dreams now. You know, I still have a lot to go, but you know, the point is that if your dreams are not clear, if they're not practical, if you don't imagine them, and they're not real to you, then it's very difficult for you to move on, especially when you want to build width and depth, because it's not easy. And you need something to hold on to. You need something that is going to excel you in doing the business. Okay, guys? So that is width and depth of your lines. Now, communication. When it comes to communication, guys, when it comes to communication, the RubyCell business is basically people business. And people business means that communication is very important. I know this sounds so basic and so easy, but I need to point it out, okay? RubyCell business is people business is communication. Communication means conversation, how you talk with your mouth, okay? That's what communication means, okay? And so when we are talking, you know, it is a communication that's very important for us, okay? And so when we communicate, you know, there are some very important communication points that I would like to educate and teach you on. And this is one of our systems. Number one, listen and agree. That's the first thing when it comes to communicating. We have to listen and agree with people when we communicate, because when we do that, then it gives the other person a chance to open up and communicate to you what they're trying to say. After they tell you whatever they want to tell you, you need to be respectful and you need to compliment whatever they say. Doesn't matter what they say, you must compliment them. I will explain to you what that means in a minute. The third thing is you need to be comfortable, smooth style with a pleasant smile. That's right. You know, one thing is when I go and meet people in RubyCell, I always have this imagination in my mind. No matter what, I smile. No matter, I look at people, I look at them deep into the eyes, you know, and I say, hello, how are you? You know, I have that greeting all the time. And I just do that because no one ever told me that they did not like that kind of approach when I approach them that way. So these are very important points when it comes to having effective conversation, all right? There is a conversation principle, and we're gonna get to basically 5 points in a minute, but these are the principles when it comes to conversation. Okay, seek to understand first. This is something very common when it comes to learning communication skills. Before you try to make another person understand you, you try to understand the other person first. When you are vulnerable to influence, that is when you are able to influence other people. Let that sink in, guys, okay? And so there are some very common principles when it comes to talking to people. Number one, people like to be recognized, people like to be respected, people like to be heard, people like to be complimented, and people like comfortable people who are like them. So, you know, these, if you just be recognized, respect, hear, and compliment a person while you're conversing with them, your conversations with them will become so much more effective, even though you're saying the same thing, even though they're saying the same thing. And because this is a people business, this becomes ever so important, okay? We're not even talking about RubyCell anymore. Whatever you do in life, if you want to be heard, or if you want to influence, or you want to make an impact, or you want to change your life, you're going to need these skills, okay? So it's very important that you achieve these skills. Now, when it comes to communication, you must, these are really the 5 things that, that you must practice, okay? And these are the 5 things that you must practice, and these are the 5 things that I strongly encourage that you install into your communication program, okay? The first is listen or understand. Second is positive expression. Third is LOS communication, which I'll explain what it is in a minute. Fourth is seek to understand first. Number 5th is converse with yourself. What does it mean to listen and or understand? What does it mean to listen or understand? Listen or understand the other person means listen to the other person no matter what they say and as much as they want to talk. Okay? See, the truth is, when a person tells you something, you can't solve everything on the spot for them. The objective is they don't tell you things because they want you to solve a problem immediately. They are telling you because they want to be heard, they want to be understood, they want to be respected. So when a person talks, just listen. Just listen. Only listen. And keep listening. Agree. Oh, yes. You know? And number 2 is positive expression, meaning, oh, yes, I understand what you mean. You know what? I 100% agree with you. You know? Relate with the person. That is how you communicate effectively. Because once you become so strong in your opinions, it doesn't give room for the other person to believe that you are listening to them or understanding them. So make sure that you give them room to believe that you understand them. Okay? Now, LOS communication means you need to be in constant contact with your sponsor, because when you are in constant contact with your sponsor, you are able to receive third-party advice on whether you are doing the right thing or not, whether you are on track or not, okay? If you don't communicate with your sponsor, your partners are the ones who suffer, and you end up doing things your way, and that is when your business will slow down, okay? The first thing is seek to understand first, means have a habit of putting yourself in the other person's shoe first. This is not just meeting new prospects, talking to your partners. It's about cross-line as well. It's about management team. It's about everything. When you talk to someone, when you're dealing with someone, you must put yourself in the other person's shoe first before you talk to them, okay? The communication doesn't start with talking. Communication starts with listening, with understanding, with respect, with recognition, okay? And so with collaboration. And so that is really what it's all about. The final thing is converse with yourself. What this means is really the best form of communication is by talking to yourself. When you talk to, I know this sounds a little deep and chim, okay? But the moment you talk to yourself, the first step to converse with other people is what? Listen to other people, right? The first step to talking to someone else then is also to listen to yourself. Listen to yourself first, meditate. What are you saying? Is what you say making sense or not? What would you feel if other people said what you're about to say? This is what it means to talk to yourself first. This is so important, so effective. I would say that this is the biggest difference between an amateur leader and a professional leader. Amateur leaders don't know how to do this. Professional leaders know how to do this. Another way of putting this is think before you talk. You know, it's basically talking to yourself what you're going to talk and determining whether that's actually what you want to talk or not. Okay, so important. And I cannot emphasize this enough. So basic, but so foundational, something that people forget. Actually, all of these principles come from this book called How to Influence and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. This is a very famous book. And I think even though it's 2020, this book is probably still relevant now. And it's probably, to me, the best people book in the world, hands down. Okay, it's a very easy book. It's been translated to so many different languages. I strongly encourage that each and every one of you who's watching this video go and pick up this book and read it. Even though you don't like to read, this is a book that you should definitely read. Okay, and I rarely say that. Okay, so attitude and self-image. You know what? The greatest discovery of the 20th century is that our attitude of mind determines our quality of life, not circumstances. This was said by William James, Harvard psychology professor. And basically, what this is trying to say is, whatever you think here and whatever you think here is what's going to happen in your life. Okay? That means if you change this and you change this, your life will change also. This is ultimate. Okay? And attitude is really everything, because attitude is the power to convert my energy into good energy. You know, when you have attitude, right? When we talk about attitude, we're talking about the kind of attitude that we want when we do the Ruby Cell business is a learning attitude. It's a positive attitude. It's a passionate attitude. It's a confident attitude. Okay? And in our self-image, we want to have principles and confidence. Now, let me explain what this means. Learning attitude means learning from the system, sponsor, and partners. We are always humble. We are constantly, it's a constant learning process. You know, Johan is learning every day. Even today, I learned. I learned from all my partners. Even there were some like I have this partner who's a silver, I think, who messaged me on Facebook today. I learned from her today. I learned from all my partners all day, every day. You know, Nigel and Irvine, even though they're 19, 20, I'm learning from them. You know, how they work, how they think, how I should live my life. I'm always learning. And you know, and a person who says that they know everything, that person is not ready to do the Ruby Cell business. Period. Okay? We are always learning, and we should always be humble to realize that we can never, there are always, there's always something to learn from people. You know, Muhammad Gandhi said that you can even learn from a fool what not to do, you know? And so to say that you know everything already, I know everything already, IKEA, is really a person who is not able to do Ruby Cell or anything in life, I would say, you know, because that person stopped growing. So learning attitude is the number one attitude we need when it comes to doing Ruby Cell. The second thing is positive attitude, okay? Positive attitude is a skill. It's like a muscle. So like if we don't train having a positive attitude, then we will not have, if we don't train having a positive attitude, it's going to be difficult for us to have a positive attitude. So train to have a positive attitude by constantly deciding to not give up and be positive. When you constantly decide to be positive, when you practice that, your ability to think positive will improve. Okay? There is a story called the stone or the goal, a stone or goal story. Basically, when you're running and you trip over a stone, some people look at the stone and complain. Some people pick themselves up and they run again. So the people who look at the stone and complain are the non-positive people, and the people who look at the goal and run are the positive people. Even though they fell over, they pick themselves up and they go. And the point I'm trying to make is, I never told you that there are going to be no challenges when you do your business. You will have challenges in your business. The question is not whether you're going to have challenges or not. The question is whether you're going to overcome those challenges or not. Okay? So make sure you choose goal, not stone. Okay? Third attitude, passionate attitude. Leaders need to maintain and grow their passion. And, you know, this is manifesting through action. When it's a can-do attitude. And really, when it comes to passion, right, like when I talk about myself, I need to constantly remind myself of my passion. I would say that being passionate is also a skill, and it comes from having this clear mindset every day on why I'm doing Ruby Cell, why I need to work so hard, what is my goal, what is my dream, to constantly remind yourself of that, to go towards that goal that you have in mind. And when you are clear about those things, that is when passion automatically comes out, okay? So people think passion is about love and like and, you know, enjoyment and all that. Actually, it's beyond that. It's a skill. Anyone can learn it, okay? Confident attitude. Our job involves achieving our dreams and sharing opportunities of success, okay? When we have confidence from assurance, then we are able to give confidence to other people. This is produced through study. What that means is, basically, when you study more, when you know more, you have confidence. If you don't know much, you don't have confidence. If you know about Ruby cell, if you know about stem cell, if you know about network marketing, if you know how to do, if you know the system, you're confident. But the moment you don't know, you're not confident. Confidence comes from knowing. If you don't know, you're not confident. If you you know, that's where confidence comes from. Okay. If you know yourself, you're confident with yourself. You get it? You get it? Yeah. So that's confidence. Okay. Persevering attitude. Wow, wow, wow. Persevering attitude. What's persevering? Persevering basically means a not giving up attitude. Okay. When you have an attitude of not giving up, that is when you become successful. Every successful person became successful because they overcame their challenge. I know that sounds funny and obvious, but you know, that's what it is, you know. And you don't just give up because things don't go your way. Things are not going to go your way. And when that happens, you should overcome them, not give up. Okay? That's really the attitude that you should have. You should set goals for your attitude. Okay? You should set goals for your attitude, because when it comes to attitude, you have inner and outer image. You should go set goals for your attitude, and you should set goals for your image as well. Okay? Your inner and outer image. Okay? For example, outer image is very simple. Imagine if I'm talking to you right now, I'm wearing a singlet, I'm wearing my pajamas at home. Hey guys, what's up? You know, and I got my, you know, beer or whatever. You should have a business attire and you should be pleasant looking. I'm not like, you know, I'm not doing this, right? I'm trying to be pleasant with you guys, right? And so there should be a pleasant look, you know, should be smiling, wear a bit of color, you know, have some light in the back and all that. You know what I mean? It should be a pleasant look so that people are attracted to your image. That's what outer image means. You got to actually work on it a bit, okay? Inner image. Inner image is basically confidence. Your language should be professional. So things like swear words or, you know, like talking like anyhow, always talking bad or gossiping. This is not the language you want to show other people, right? You should have professional language, language which other people respect you on, okay? You should have an authentic personality, meaning you shouldn't be so fake, okay? You should be yourself, okay? But be professional and be confident. And you should have a caring heart. We don't want people to be so serious to the point where they are fake and they don't care about other people. Because guys, and this is the last thing I'm going to say today, the greatest commandment is to love one another. The greatest commandment is to love one another. And really, it all boils down to love. If you know how to love other people, you will grow your Ruby Cell business, period. If you don't know how to love people, you will not grow your Ruby Cell business. Because if you love people, you will go all out to help them. You will make sure you sell products that you know you like, that you trust, that you believe will help the other person. In terms of the business, you will support other people because beyond just what you need to do, because you love them. Because you want to make sure that you make a difference in other people's lives and you care for them. That pretty much is what it means to have a caring heart. And that is probably most important, and it will drive all other learning when it comes to the nuts and bolts training system. Okay? So that's it for today. You know, I went through that really quickly, and you know, I really didn't want to add any unnecessary details inside. But if you would like to watch this again, go on YouTube and watch the video again. And if there's anything you don't understand, ask your sponsor or myself. Read books, watch YouTube videos about those things that you want to learn more on. Outer image, inner image, attitude, all these things. There are so many resources on YouTube. I cannot tell you enough things. I will be sitting here for the next 2 hours if I have to tell you all those things, okay? So the important thing is make sure that you go in depth about all these training systems, all these content that we shared today, because the moment you do that and you master the system, you will be successful in this business no matter what. Got it? Okay. So thank you for joining us today. I'm going to stop the recording. Stop the recording.